to the K.
To the K. Oh, we're feeling spicy again, baby, because it's time for more hot takes.
We are. Yeah.
But once again, it's a show with really hot questions.
We're like the Nando's of hot takes. Cheeky Nando's.
Cheeky Nando's.
But, you know what? Every day we're making progress. That's the thing.
Hey, see what he did there. So yeah, anyone who's not seen this segment before, this is hot takes. Anthony will go through 10 hot takes.
My job here. I try and find hot takes off the internet. So these are not our opinions, but the idea is to see what hot takes Carl can digest. Yeah.
So you want to see me lose me shit? Find the one we do about the Montreal Screwjob.
Yeah,
that's good.
And I can't guarantee we're going to get to Montreal Screwjob levels, but I've curated another list of hot takes. I'm trying to keep these fairly recent hot takes, so there will be some newer stuff in there. And then we're going to test Carl, and Carl used the Scoffle level to determine how hot this take is.
I still love it. The best thing we've ever done.
Great. Except when people in the comments point out and say, well, this is just a rip-off of hot takes. It's like, that's exactly what this is.
It's not a rip-off of hot takes. This is hot takes. This is a rip-off of hot ones.
Hot ones, sorry. But like, that's exactly what this is. Like, I don't want to get sued, but that's exactly what this is. This is an homage. This is an homage, right? We are blatantly using their formats.
To Sean Evans, who I love, so it's okay.
The only difference is we don't have famous guests or food.
Well, we do sometimes.
Well, to be fair, that's disingenuous. We actually have famous guests. I can't even say that anymore.
Maybe in this segment.
No, yeah, not for hot takes. Yeah, we don't like invite people on and go, let's eat chicken and talk.
Yeah.
So in a way, the format isn't the same.
What's the wrestling equivalent of
that? I think you should honour Big E and do popcorn.
Okay.
Yeah. Remember that in the audience?
It's not about pops. Cheap popcorn.
Nice. Cheap popcorn.
And it will be fucking cheap popcorn.
Nice. Okay, there we go. Anyway, we've digressed. Well, instead of digress, let's dive in.
Love it. Hot take number 1. Now, I don't know what this is. I see a Ria Ripley on the screen. Pretty hot.
I'm not sure, but I mean, this is one of them things where the audience, I just don't know how you're going to feel about it. I feel like you might be able to digest this. It is kind of wild as a hot take, I think.
Okay.
And the hot take is that Ria Ripley's current booking, is worse than pre-Tribal Chief Roman Reigns.
I think that's quite a hot take.
That is hot, to be fair. Right? But I'm like, does Carl care that much? But that is, like, I don't think her booking has been anywhere near, like I think people have to remember pre-Tribal Chief, like 2015 Roman Reigns winning the Rumble and everyone just being like, this is bullshit. Roman Reigns was shocking.
He was in a dog food, with Baron Corbin money.
Yeah. That's where he was at.
Do you know what I mean?
I think they've treated Rhea well. The only thing I was against was putting the title back on her so soon, but it kind of makes sense. Like, she can't realistically be beaten by Liv, so there's only so many times she can get screwed over. So, like, I kind of get why she's got the title back, but I don't think the booking's been bad at all. I think she's been booked like an absolute beast. And, like, looking at now, potentially going into a program with Charlotte, maybe. But even if that doesn't happen, that back and forth, that point, that I think that promo this week cemented it, where you go, actually, the difference in Rhea when they last faced each other is night and day.
Yeah.
You know? And I think that says a lot about where she's come in this place.
I mean, it's interesting.
I find it absolutely crazy. This might not be her, like, it's weird. It's because you've got to kind of separate it, even though they're both very recent. But it's like, we're talking their most recent booking, so not the Judgment Day and Dirty Dom stuff. And you go, well, that was probably better booked because she was the leader of Judgment Day, whether they fucking admitted it or not.
Well, like, how recent is this booking? Because she's only just...
But it's basically her newest solo run, essentially. Is
I mean, it's early days, that, isn't it? But...
I think so. Yeah. And I disagree. I think it's going well. I don't think the booking are wrong so far. I don't think that's fair to say.
Pretty spicy, that, to be fair. Yeah. I was expecting this to be like an entry level, like...
Sorry.
Ketchup.
Yes, this is... So where we landed on a Scoffle level then?
This is like
you need a drink?
It's like a 7 on the Scoffle scale.
Yeah. Really? Yeah. Wow. Okay.
To say it's worse than fucking 2015 Roman Reigns, or like
I know.
Well, it's like 2015 pre-Tribal Chief. So like
anything. Anything before
the dog
that.
Food shit and everything. Like, no.
Nah,
terrible hot take. Yeah. Whoever said that, you're
heavy.
Bad people.
Heavy hot take.
Apparently, you're heavy.
Right. I did.
Okay.
Gonna get cancelled.
Again.
Right, go on.
Okay, second one.
Second one. Okay. I do consider this quite a hot take. I don't know what that was. I don't know.
For the audio listeners, Anthony just did.
And that is that Jey Uso is and has been for some time better than Roman Reigns.
Oh, come on. Fuck, no, they can't.
You know what?
Serious.
My instinct was to do the same thing, and then I sat and thought about it and gone, you know what? Like, I get how they're getting there. He's over. He can talk. He's got the humour. He's got the in-ring skills. What is it? He's not
what?
Like,
draw the line at that bit for a start. Look at fucking
comparable to Roman Reigns.
Yeah, but at least Roman's got like 5 moves to do. Jay's got 2. He's got a super kick and a splash. And he robs a spear every now and again. 3 moves to do. John Cena's over there looking like fucking.
So, but this is the debate we're having. I'm not saying like he is a great technical wrestler. What I'm saying is, comparatively to Roman Reigns, what is it that makes Roman? Because my instinct is the same as yours. Roman Reigns is a bigger deal. There's no way that this is true. But what makes Roman Reigns a bigger deal? We might as well talk about that right now.
I think it's everything. Don't get me wrong, right? We saw when we went to WWE Live at Liverpool, right? We saw it in person. Yeah. My little lad was fucking yeeting his head off when he saw him. You know he was. He is over with the kids. The kids absolutely love him. He's like a bit Cena-esque in that regard, isn't he? But where it falls down for me is he's not that good on the mic. The thing that got him over was getting drunk with Cody Rhodes.
I mean, that wasn't that great to me. I mean, I have a personal dislike for the Cody stuff,
right? That's what got him over. Everyone was buzzing off the back of that. Then he was like yeet all the time. That's where yeet took off properly. And then, the kid, he's got a catchphrase, and he's got like music that people.
His career propelled by getting drunk with basically a politician.
Oh yeah, basically, right. But I don't know what it is about the majority
people who can say that
of the roster these days. If you like Seth Rollins, is he really over, or do people just like singing his theme music?
I mean, I would.
And it's
agree.
like this with Jey now.
Let's not bring all the hot takes into this, but I do agree with the Seth Rollins thing.
Doing me on here.
People do enjoy the theme way more than anything he's done.
So it's like he's got the theme, he's got the catchphrase, and he's got the merch. Other than that, he's got no in-ring ability. He's really not that good on promos, and like he's not main event. You can put it in his name, but the difference between him and Roman is Roman's got fucking aura. Okay, Roman Reigns comes out there.
Look, Louis Walsh, right? I don't want to hear why like Roman's got the X factor and you just can't explain it. Right?
It's just got something.
I agree with you. There is something more impactful about Roman's character. But when I try to explain that in my own head to myself, is like what actually makes them massively different. And you go, well, they're both very talented dudes. So what is it that makes Roman that bit better?
He just is main event. And what was the actual hot take?
Jey Uso is better than Roman Reigns.
Yeah, it's bollocks though, isn't it? He's not. Because he's not better in any. He's not better in any.
He's not even like he's going to be or anything like that.
It's just that he is better. He's not better in the ring. He's not better on the mic. He's got catchphrases as well. The only thing Roman doesn't have is an entrance dance. He's got Paul Heyman there with him.
On that.
You know what I mean? Exactly. So no, that's spicy. We're 2 in, and it's I'm ready. This is like the bomb. Like this is
okay.
This is an 8.
It's pretty damn spicy. Okay, maybe I've configured these wrong. Who knows? Right?
Nah,
have a drink of water, and we'll try the next one.
We're going to be able to come down from it. But no, there's no way in any universe that Jey Uso is better than Roman Reigns.
Okay, I agree, and I'm glad you were able to put that so eloquently.
Okay.
So this is one of them. I was almost reluctant to bring this in because I don't really like going into this, but the whole hot take is about this. And that is, and I found this to be an extremely hot take, just so you know. But the hot take was that AEW are solely responsible for tribalism in wrestling. Right? They went on to explain that the attitude that AEW came about with, like the way they started it, is what caused the tribalism. I think that's some bullshit, but
that's just someone who's not lived through the Monday Night Wars, isn't it?
I think so. But like solely responsible is why this is a hot take. I'm like, what? It's
not even a hot take. That's a fucking stupid take. Do you know what I mean? Damn. Like, it's not spicy. It's just moronic. how can you say that? A company is
spicy.
Like before that, like there was no tribalism.
And even chicken.
Like what the fuck is that? It's a slice of ham they brought to the chicken show, you know.
But I found it interesting because they basically like AEW existing has caused tribalism. It's like, well, maybe, like that's like having an alternative has caused people to argue. It's like, well, maybe, kind of. But is that their fault that they existed? I kind of get that they've leaned into some of the anti-WWE stuff, but this always kind of bugs me with stuff like this because everyone acts like WWE don't even care about AEW when they rise above it. It's like, no, they're subtler, but they still poke jabs. Are we all going to pretend like CM Punk hasn't been taking jabs at AEW for months? He does. He just does it subtly. He doesn't blatantly call them out. So maybe AEW aren't as good at it, but they do take pops at each other.
What I can attest to is tribalism has gotten worse to a degree.
See, I wouldn't even if somebody had said tribalism has gotten worse, I wouldn't have even brought this along. But
it's only gotten worse,
solely responsible is insane.
Because pre-AEW competition was TNA, and I love TNA. They're great. Like everything they've done. Well, people didn't see them as close enough a competition.
No, it was like scrappy dude coming at the money,
right? Whereas AEW kind of came in and were like, we're the alternative, and start signing the other guys like a Moxley and everything like that. People were like, oh shit, like, you know. And at the time,
like that first year when you had like FTR turning up and Moxley turning up and Jericho, and
the surprises all the time. It felt different, it felt fresh, and then now that it's kind of leveled out, they're all just different, aren't they? Just different flavors. Yeah. But so you can maybe say there's been a slight resurgence, but anyone who lived through fucking Monday Night Wars, ECW hardcores, you know what I mean? WWF is shit. I want to see people getting fucking sliced open. So not even a hot take. Just fucking.
It's a fucking not take.
Hey, love it.
Okay.
So that's me having a sip of water. I'm not even having it. It's not even got a spice level. A -1 on the scuffle.
-1. Heavy.
Okay. Right. The Rock. Counting to 2.
The Rock. I've actually called him the Rick. I mean, I don't know why.
That's what Ricky Starks' new gimmick.
The Rick. Oh, fucking hell. That would work too well.
The P fell off.
Oh, savage.
Hot take.
So, I think this was almost a bit of a mean hot take. But let's talk about it, right? And the hot take was that The Rock should pull a John Cena and retire from in-ring competition.
I mean,
I'm like, okay, like
that's kind of how it works.
Like, but they mean like now, like we don't want to see him in the ring again. And I'm like, well, I actually find that surprising based on his most recent work because he did. I mean, obviously he's not The Rock of old. He's not.
I thought he was really good in the tag match.
100%.
I thought he was really good.
And I'm like, I still want to see him in Roman, so I don't really necessarily agree with this hot take.
That's the one match I want to see still.
Yeah, exactly. If he retires, we need it. We need it soon.
Yeah, if he retires after that, I'm good. But
to be like, no, be done now.
Yeah,
well, they say pull a John Cena, so we're talking have a retirement tour, have a year where you're like, I'm done after this. I wouldn't mind that.
Problem is though, if The Rock had a retirement tour for a year, you'd still see him twice.
Yeah.
So it's kind of not much of a tour, you know.
No. But kind of like, I mean, John Cena was like, I'm going to be here for the year, and then we saw him like once in January. So it seems to just be the case, doesn't it? It is what it is.
I think with Cena, at least, he's going to rock up at the majority of premium live events, and the occasional Raw here or there.
Yeah.
But Rock's just The Rock, isn't he?
He is.
I mean, I was surprised he was around as much as he was.
It was actually a real surprise. The Final Boss stuff and being around as much as he was actually.
Do you know what?
Shocking.
I really enjoyed it. Yeah. I loved that whole thing. I thought he was great.
You're not ready to see him retire from the ring.
No.
How hot you find this take?
Again, I'm kind of leaning towards it being a stupid take, but I suppose it's stupid. Like, but I'd say it's like a 6.
Okay, we'll give it a 6
because I disagree with it. It's not the spiciest thing ever. Because people be like, "Oh, we should retire," but he shouldn't. So
yeah,
stupid.
Okay.
Viva la raza! Somewhere Rey Mysterio.
This might go. Do you know what? I was half tempted to put this hot take to be around Rey Mysterio because I have my own personal hot take on that one.
That would not have been spicy at all. I would have fully agreed.
But this one is that Eddie Guerrero was only ever good. He was never great. That's the hot take.
Oh, I could lose. There's a lot of followers here, you know.
And it is one of them where it is kind of posthumously people like appreciate everything, you know. So he probably gets more notoriety, sadly, because he passed. But does that mean that he weren't great? Not necessarily, you know. I think he was appreciated more after his death. I think that's fair to say.
It's difficult, isn't it? Like, if we were to tier list this motherfucker, he's not S tier. He's not.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
He could very well be an A or a very high B, is where I would put him.
Right? I think the thing is, sadly, we were getting to, like, if you remember, a lot of Eddie Guerrero's career was the build up to him being main event. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You remember his work with Brock Lesnar and getting to that main event sort of spot. And that moment with him and Benoit, controversial as it is now at Mania, like those big moments, he wasn't typically the big guy that Vince liked, so it made sense that it was a harder hill to climb.
He was always fantastic.
And he was always heading there.
When he came in as part of the Radicals, and he was doing the Latino Heat thing with China, which is replicating now with Dom and do you know what I mean? That goes to show how successful that was. Like the lead pipe and the roses and stuff. He was great. And then obviously he went away for a bit, and when he came back, and then he was doing stuff with Chavo, the Los Guerreros, and all that. Fantastic, he was a really good comedy character. And then he made that transition. Everyone was made up for him because it was never on the cards for him. Yeah. But he worked at it. He got massive, didn't he?
He was huge.
He was a fucking monster. His in-ring work has always been fantastic, but he was just never at that level. And he got there. You know what I mean? And
and we didn't have. I don't think we had long enough of him being there.
Yeah,
to go.
That's what I mean. He could have went on.
Like, I don't think it's fair to say he's not great. I don't think he managed to reach that pinnacle of that S tier, as you say.
Well, that's it.
But I do think he probably would have.
Yeah, like if you look at and he might be in a lot of people's Mount Rushmores. It's a very subjective thing.
Yeah,
because people put wrestlers in sometimes because they're their favorite wrestlers or they gravitate to them or whatever. But looking at it as a business standpoint, was he ever an Austin? Was he ever a Rock? No, right, and that's fine. Not everyone is.
Yeah, no, that's...
So he's not an S tier. Or I could see him as an A, or I could see him as a very high B.
I mean, to that point, and just to justify your point, would you consider Bret Hart an S tier?
Well, he was the face of the company for like 3 years. Like, for me, you've got
was he ever a Rock?
Well, yeah, because he was the guy. He was on all the posters. He was the man. You've only really got Hogan. It kind of went Hogan to Bret. I don't count Shawn because it was for a year.
You should count Shawn.
I don't, because he wasn't the guy.
Just because you hate Shawn.
But no, he wasn't.
Just because you hate Shawn.
That's why I don't get that.
But it's because you hate Shawn.
Shawn had it for a year and then went, I've got back problems. I don't want to drop the belt.
And I lost my smile or whatever.
I fucked off. And then he came back, and don't get me wrong, he had a phenomenal run when he came back and did the stuff with Taker and all that. I won't take that away from him. But when he was on top, meh. So in my mind, it was prior to Hogan, you've obviously got your bloody San Martinos and all that. But like from our era, Hogan, then to Bret, then to Austin. I don't even know whether maybe to Rock briefly, but even he wasn't around for that long. Then to Cena, and you know what I mean.
Wasn't Austin's run not particularly long either.
Well, he was there. He was 96 to 2001,
and you don't count Brock.
Well, maybe, but again, he was like 2002 to 2000, because he went away for a bit and came back.
He was technically before Cena.
To be honest, Kurt Angle. I'd have Kurt Angle.
Kurt Angle, man, yeah, he definitely deserves to be there. I don't know how we've ended up here, but
no.
So as a hot take goes, though,
because
obviously, like you say, it is subjective, and he was undoubtedly a fantastic wrestler, and undoubtedly deserves to be in the conversation for one of the greatest.
The way they've worded it, he was good but never not great, is harsh, because I think he was great, but he wasn't elite.
So you wouldn't say it's fair to say he was only good?
No,
that to me feels like almost like you're saying the mid. And
he was certainly not mid.
No.
So it is relatively hot, but I can kind of see where they're coming from. He's not one of the best of all time.
Right. So Scoffle level?
So 6.
Okay. Okay.
Speaking of Brock.
So I don't know how I feel about this, and that's why I wanted to put it in more for the conversation than anything. Okay. And that is, and it's not specifically about this moment, but this is a moment that I think helps the argument, and that is that some botches help a match. Like, they're not all, like, they add an element of realism that nothing works perfect, and therefore, not botches that are going to kill someone, not serious bad botches, but some botches help it feel realistic, and therefore there is a place for botches.
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about that, to be fair.
But this is where I want to put this image in, because this was a very damn near fatal botch.
Yeah.
So this is the kind of shit you don't want to see. But then you go, this isn't the same sort of botch as, say, some of the some of the falling over or whatever we saw in like the Women's Rumble, for instance. Some of the bit I'm trying to think of a particular one, but some of the bits we saw where you're like, oh, that went wrong, and you go, well, does that help in a sense of going, that went wrong? Like, it's not always going to be perfect, so it almost adds to the realism and the unpredictability as long as no one's getting hurt.
It's a tough one, and we know firsthand from speaking to Caitlin that some botches can work in favour of talent, because Caitlin never should have won that battle royal.
Yeah,
right?
Exactly. Yeah.
So that can work out. But I don't know. I feel like botches to give a level of realism. I feel like if you need a botch to show a level of realism, then the match probably wasn't that good to begin with.
Okay. So do you think there is a place for botches then, or do you think,
I just think
in a world where you could get rid of botches completely and the match runs exactly as you wanted it to, that would be the world you live in? Or do you think there is a place for botches where it will add something?
I don't think they add anything, no, to be fair. No. It's more just unfortunate for the performers, because they don't want it to happen. Something's happened and they feel bad and it hasn't gone the way they wanted.
Like you say, I think because some organic moments have happened from that, Caitlin being a good example, that the argument for this has come along, really.
I mean, stuff like that, like an accidental Rumble elimination or something.
I mean, conversely, you wouldn't want.
We never would have got.
You wouldn't want this botch. You wouldn't want Brock damn near killing himself. You wouldn't want it.
Like
but
that,
at the same time,
into the match.
That is a big talking point of the match now to this
day.
But
only because of what happened, like the way he was after it, and the fact he carried on the match and stuff. So I get it's probably helped his legacy a bit. Go, fucking hell, I can't believe he carried on the match after doing that to himself.
Well, like Austin, if you could remove it and him not dare kill himself.
Well, like Austin, Owen Hart basically did a bloody sit down tombstone, broke his neck. And Austin still managed to finish the match, even though he was like out of it completely.
And Angle's just say like, I won a gold medal with broken fucking neck.
Well, exactly. Like Angle's broke his neck in matches before, so does it make people tough SOBs? Of course it does, but does it add things like realism to the match? No, not really. Okay. Because at the end of the day, it's a mistake, and if they wanted
you're a mistake. No,
if they wanted a segment in there that made it feel real, then they would have planned it out as part of the match.
Okay.
So yeah, stupid that.
Fuck off then.
7.
Okay.
A little bit of Lexi.
So this is an easier one, Carl. But we love a bit of Alexa. So, right?
A little bit.
So Alexa Bliss. We've obviously seen where they're going because of the Rumble. So this take, to be fair to the taker,
it's Undertaker.
Yeah, was before her Rumble appearance. Okay. But the idea was that she should not return to the Wyatt stuff, and she should return to the Goddess, because the Wyatt stuff would not do good for her career now going forward. So the hot take is that she shouldn't be doing the Wyatt stuff now. Now, obviously, the Rumble, this doesn't mean that she is going to stick with the Wyatt stuff. The Rumble, if you saw the jacket, it was paying homage to Bray, wasn't it?
It was, but she also had Lily with her.
Yeah, but it doesn't. To me, it was a nod to his legacy, because she hasn't really had a chance to do that.
Yeah.
So, is she going to necessarily keep that up? I don't know. But do you think that this will be a bad move, I suppose, going forward? Or
it's really, really difficult one. I think character-wise, it's been hard to know what the right thing is for Alexa for a while. I think if she comes back and joins the Wyatt Six, depending on how that's booked, it could be quite bad for her. If she comes back still like this, like she came out at the Rumble, like she's still got Lily and she's still a little bit unhinged, but she's not part of the Wyatt Six, that could really work still, I think. But obviously if she came back as the Goddess or transitioned back to that's worked for her, proven. So I don't think
there's this possible problem. No, it's a mild take. Yeah. But do you not think there's a possible problem here where, let's say they bring her back and she's doing the Lily stuff and being a bit more unhinged, and then WWE look and go, oh, this is getting over, people are liking this, and then they almost rely on Alexa to boost Wyatt Six. I think if it worked, if it was even remotely successful, they'll then push her towards the Wyatt Six. And I think that's potentially the problem.
Strange thing is, they don't seem to know what they want to do with the Wyatt Six. They obviously want to continue Bray's legacy to some degree. The way they debuted them was epic, wasn't it? Yeah. Wiped everyone out, and everyone's like, what the fuck? And after that, it was like, oh, now you're going to feud with Karrion Kross and The Miz. Yeah. So if they figure out what they want to do with him and make him cool, then it should fit in with that. If they haven't got a clue and they have like Alexa leading that group, then it's not going to be great. But yeah, I don't think it's that spicy of a take, because I don't think anyone knows what the best thing is to do with her at the minute.
And so many people are saying that she should be the Goddess again, but that would be like a nostalgia trip and then after a bit you'd be like, oh, this is someone else.
And like, I was going to say, what really is the Goddess gimmick other than the thing with the hand? Just
the aura and the attitude in it.
Yeah, but it's like we have a lot of people like that now, don't we? It's like we don't really have that many.
I think people will be like, oh, that was like what she was in NXT and early WWE, and then they'll get over it. I think that's how quickly that'll fizzle.
Yeah, but I can see why this person's put that because it's tough. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I don't think it's that spicy.
Okay.
Two for me.
Okay. It's the first two you've had though.
Yeah.
Okay.
Onto McMahon.
Triple H is just as bad as Vince McMahon. He just has a different type in that he will continue to push people who are not worth pushing, who are not getting over, but the Triple H guys. And he is no better than Vince for that habit. And they cited, and this isn't me, but they cited projects like Karrion Kross as examples of you keep wanting it to be a thing, but it's not working, and you're not letting it go. And that's the take, is that he's different. He has a different wrestler type, because the other one they cited was Gargano, and like you have your guys that you like, just like Vince did. So you're just as bad as him. That's kind of the take.
Like, but who were Vince's guys? You know what I mean?
Basically anyone who was huge.
Like you say that, but like
Vince,
Batista,
Brock was a Vince
all right.
guy.
Brock, he did all right. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, it's not to say like Vince. Obviously, he had his types and he pushed them to the moon, and he was probably more successful at it. And I suppose the hot take of being Triple H also has his guys, so he's just as bad as Vince. But the projects aren't working, and he's not willing to change his mind. Do you know what I mean?
He's just got the wrong guys, hasn't he?
He's as belligerent as Vince, but probably potentially less successful with the guys he's picking. Maybe, I don't know. But
save a bad year or two here, talking just creatively, not what he's like as a person. Save a couple of years here creatively for Vince. The majority of the WWE that he's been at the helm of has been fantastic. It just has been. All your favorite moments.
Some fucking wild years, yeah.
We're under Vince for the most of them, yeah. Don't get me wrong, Trips has done fantastic. Probably the best WrestleMania. Definitely up there. If it's not the best, it's very close. That was under his helm. People forget, like, the Bloodline story started under Vince. Like, a lot of these underlying stories started under Vince. Yeah. So Triple H has done a great job of curating them and seeing them through, and obviously with outside influence of The Rock and stuff like that. But
looking at, like, because the people are citing, like, Karrion Kross and Gargano as examples of, like, just not hitting the main roster, and he's insisting on continuing to push them. Do you think that truly is a Triple H thing? Do you think he's the one going, no, these guys are going to be big and I don't care what anyone says?
Maybe, but you know what? I don't know if that's a bad thing. The problem, one of the things Vince didn't do very, very well was the undercard.
Yeah.
Like in the Attitude Era, maybe, because everyone had a storyline, everything was going on and stuff. But under Vince, you kind of felt like he had his top guys, and the rest of them just did stuff to fill time. Triple H may not be getting the right guys, but he's made storylines with Karrion and The Miz and stuff.
But, I mean, this is the thing, is like
DIY imitating him and Shawn.
Final Testament took a while, but they were sort of like, he seems to be building a fairly solid mid card. Like, sadly, on the main roster right now, it's hard to see a potential for Karrion Kross being like in the main event title scene, similar to Gargano. Like, the tag stuff they're doing is not bad. Yeah. But can you see him or Tommaso in the main event scene? No.
That's what I don't really get. Like, if he'd
solid mid card,
if he'd back Karrion and put him for the world title, and I'd be like, oh, yeah, that's because he's a Triple H guy. But
so is it, in a way, is it better that he's not like pushing them into the wrong part of the card?
Yeah, like we need people who open the show. We need people who are bathroom breaks. You just need it part of the show. So if it gets them on TV, it gets them on TV. But yeah. Well, so I don't really get the question in terms of to give it a rating, because
basically I think it was this it was a counterpoint to everyone like being so over on Triple H, is that they were saying he's no better than Vince in terms of ability. He will double down on a bad decision just like Vince would, is the hot take.
Probably. I don't think it's that hot of a take. You know what I mean? He's going to have his guys, isn't he? And he's going to try and look after them. But I think something he's doing well is looking after the card top to bottom. Something Vince did well was obviously finding actual stars and keeping them at the top. So, yeah, different styles, both having different levels of success. But
there you go.
Maybe like a 3.
Yeah. I'm surprised you give it a 2. I thought we were going to land 2, similar to the Bliss one.
I just give it 2, and you were like, you want to give him the 1 too? I didn't want to give it. So
okay.
Yeah. Okay. Penultimate one. I see a lot of PG and a lot of roster people.
Because that's what it's all about. Roster people.
Well, This image just got people from the roster.
Okay. So despite this is the take. Despite the endless praise, the current era is no better than the PG era.
You were still in the PG era?
Well, this is the thing. I'm trying to pinpoint where the PG era sort of ends.
People seem to think when we went to Netflix that was all of a sudden a new thing, but it's still this.
I mean, to try and sort of separate it, I think when we talk modern era, we'd have to look at like your Bloodline, Cody Rhodes kind of stuff, and separate that. So like your PG era is like pre-pandemic, I suppose, in a way. Because that's when a lot of the changes and course corrections started coming. And although officially there's still PG on the network and stuff, the PG era, like it's hard to define a timeline on that one. But to separate modern era and PG era, that's where I'm kind of trying to draw the line with this one and go, well, it'll be before the Roman Reigns hitting it big and the Tribal Chief stuff and Cody coming back, and that's your modern era stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't know. It's a weird one because it's less around like your ratings in it and stuff like that. It's more just like under Vince versus on Triple H, is kind of like what we've just been.
In a similar sense, but like from a story standpoint, they're saying like basically the pre-pandemic again to try and give it a defined line. Storyline wise, was no worse than where we are now, and I would disagree. As much as the Bloodline stuff's kind of wrapping up now, I think they forget how impactful that was, and it was probably the most solid story they had in a long time.
Yeah, like the stories have definitely been better in recent times. I think there was a lot of people just aimlessly doing stuff. I mean, don't forget they were bringing Goldberg back and putting him in things because he was Goldberg to try and get a name, and there was no story there. It was just like, let's put a big superstar in a match to get some eyeballs on it. Yeah. Whereas they have very much gone, what are the... Like, there's loads of stories now, the Liv and Rhea, Judgment Day, Dom stuff, that's all doing its thing. Yeah. You've got, undercurrents there with Dom and Ray and like the LWO, that stuff that's happening.
Yeah. And I know this is like, again, playing on the lines of where these two eras sort of start and stop, but I'm like, you got to remember where we were with the fake fucking eyeballs and stuff like that we were getting from Rey Mysterio. Like, that was the kind of storytelling we were getting not too long ago. That was like 2020.
That was pandemic, though.
2020.
Shit went out the window.
The idea of doing it, though, was fucking stupid.
It was, but they tried a load of mad shit in the pandemic.
Yeah. But my point is, you can't really say that the storylines know better, because it did get better.
So is that what the hot take is? That storylines now are no better than they were during the PG era? Basically mean.
Yeah, pre-pandemic.
That's bullshit, yeah. The stories are really good. They're multi-layered. You talk about the Bloodline story ending at the minute. Like, it is wrapping up, but then you've got the Drew McIntyre revenge tour. Yeah. You've got the Seth Rollins. And
Drew and Punk, unexpectedly great.
Yeah. You know what I mean? That was fantastic.
Who knew Drew could carry an old man?
The thing with the Rumble this year and stuff is you could see the story like interwoven through all of it.
Interwoven.
You had that point where there was like 6 or 7 of them in there, and everyone was like, "Oh,
well, you likened WrestleMania, Cody's story, for instance. You likened it to Endgame, the way all the parts come together, the way they did, and it's like, what kind of story would ever wrap up like that in the PG era?
None of them. None
of them. So I think it's a pretty hot take because it's very inaccurate.
Yeah, I'll give it an 8.
Okay.
Stupid.
Stupid.
It's been really good lately. Okay, the last one.
It's a bit of a... You know what? This is a bit, I think, out of you and me, this one, because we're not really NXT guys. Okay. So I think it's a fairly hot take, but I feel like we're probably going to have to try and put an NXT cap on here a little bit, right? So the hot take is quite simply that Roxanne Perez isn't actually that good. And she's being overpushed and is overrated. Citing her in-ring ability and her promo work, or even the backstage segments where she tried to mimic Shawn, it like felt a bit more wooden and stuff like that. And it's like, she's not actually the big deal that they wanted to be. And her getting sort of pushed in the Rumble and potentially pushed to the main roster is not a good thing.
Like,
that's the hot take, by the way.
Fans don't want to make new stars, then they complain about it, like the aging roster and
it's funny,
the fact there's no stars. Like, you need to do shit like this sometimes. Like, do I think she should have been the runner-up in the Rumble? Maybe not. But to say that, like, how old is she? She's only like really early 20s, isn't she?
Oh, 100%.
She was killing it on the indies before they signed her as Roxy. It's not like she's just come in and is under the WWE machine. Like, she's killing it on the indies. If you can do it on the indies, you can do it on the big time.
100%.
So,
I think the in-ring thing is definitely this. I do think she needs to probably work on her, and this is something I said about Bailey, and look how great a heel Bailey ended up being. But I do think she needs to work on her mic skills, especially when she's trying to be a bad guy, because she's quite. It just seems like a weird thing to class as a bad thing, but she's quite charming. So it's hard to like find her a convincing heel. So when she's done the heel turn, it's difficult to. But Bailey was a very similar thing. I'm like, how? Like I said to you when she first turned heel, how's Bailey going to be a convincing heel?
Yeah.
Like, and look at her, she smashed it. So I don't think it's impossible, and I think that's probably the area she needs to develop on. But she is in a brand that is developing her.
Yeah.
Like in ring wise, I think it's probably a very unfair take because I don't think an in ring work is bad at all. At all.
No, I do think it's bullshit. Look at Liv Morgan. Like, Liv Morgan has been on the main roster for ages and has really struggled to find and get a character and stuff like that. When they turned to heel, she's boss. The little laugh that she does, how annoying she is, you know what I mean? The stuff that she's great. She's a great heel.
Yeah.
And it takes time. Like when Bailey first became a heel, it was a bit like, and then all of a sudden it was like, ding dong, this and all that. And then she became really good by the damage control time and stuff. Yeah. So it was like, and like Rhea Ripley's another example. She wasn't amazing when she first came up. It took her some time. She was figuring it out and stuff.
I think, did I say at the beginning of this or a different episode, like the difference, like this most recent promo from Charlotte and her made me think about the last time they faced each other, and the difference is night and day.
Yeah, it's mad.
And it's crazy.
The stuff that the Judgment Day has done for her, really. Because if you think about it, she was great. We thought she was really good when she joined the Judgment Day. But she was dead awkward there in Priest and Edge, and it was like, oh, what's this? And then before you know it, she became fucking mommy in this big stuff. And it's just, damn. Like now she's like,
100%.
You'd put her up there now with like a Cody Rhodes as like a top guy in the company, or top woman in the company.
It's funny because one of the other hot takes I chose not to put in was about that, and they were saying about like, basically if the wrestling fans weren't into goth chicks, she wouldn't be that popular. I'm like, there's probably a few like that, yeah, but you can't deny that she's got she's got that.
She's star power now.
That's star power. Thank you.
Yeah, she does. And it took time. It didn't happen overnight, you know. So this is a hot take. They've clearly got big plans for Roxanne Perez in the future. You know, I'm going to trust their judge of talent. From what I've seen of her, she's looked like she can go.
So it's a hot take.
So I do think
it's
a hot take. How hot
we talking? Ending the show, bear in mind.
What was the actual?
She's not as good as the she doesn't deserve the push she's getting because she's not actually that good.
Yeah, it's pretty spicy there. Another solid 8, I think, to end on.
Okay.
No 10s. It's gonna be hard to get a 10 again after the Montreal Screwjob.
We need to try the new thing, right? So these are not our hot takes. These are hot takes that we've curated. So we need to obviously
comment below.
Let us know what do you think? What do you think of these hot takes? Do you have any hot takes of your own? That would be the fun thing. We can, in fact, maybe we can even feature some of your hot takes if you throw some in there, or comment at all.
Yeah, do that. Do that. Actually, that'd be good. Let us know your hot takes. Maybe we'll pick it up in a future video. And while you're there, why don't you make sure you subscribe? Look at that.
Nice. Yeah, look at that quality. Click that bell or whatever. It says look.
Oh, not that bell. Look at us. I feel like us two old fogies have figured out how to put animation.
How do I do a YouTube?
Yeah, hit the subscribe and leave the comments. And yeah, let us know some hot takes that you want us to explore. But let us know your thoughts on these hot takes too, because we always love to get a bit of feedback. So let us know. For our fantastic audio listeners, we love you. So drop us a like, drop us 5 stars. Sean Mooney did really good. Didn't do great on YouTube. Did pretty fucking good on Pod. So
I mean, you know what?
Same.
As long as he does good, because he should do good on YouTube. And if you're watching now and you're like, Sean Mooney, what are you talking about? Go and find the fucking video and watch it. Sean Mooney is an absolute fucking legend.
He is a legend.
And is an absolute gentleman.
So go and check that out. Nick Aldis commented as well on our Instagram about him.
Nice one,
Nick. I can't remember what he said, but he's a gentleman.
I think he referred to him as a stick man, which I think is a business term, but something like that.
Yeah. So go and check that out. Go and check out our other stuff, and we will catch you on the next one.